welcome everybody to a slow flow yoga class for self-compassion. My name is Lauren Bentley. I will be your teacher and guide throughout this journey. Thank you so much for being here. If you could take a moment to, if you're watching this replay, to subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be phenomenal. Thank you so very much. And today's class will consist of no props. However, if you would like to have a couple yoga blocks or large books handy, pillows, blankets, whatever, for extra comfort and support, that is always recommended, but nothing will be mandatory today. So slow flow is all about taking the movements slower, focusing more on the breath. So we'll be holding the postures for a bit longer than in a typical vinyasa class. As always, please listen to your body, and by all means, if your body is not feeling good in a particular posture, please find a posture that does feel good to you. And there's that fine line between discomfort and pain. We're not looking for any sort of pain. However, discomfort isn't necessarily a bad thing. Discomfort shows us that we're growing. So we can breathe through that discomfort. We can allow the shake to be within the body, because that will happen by holding these postures for a little bit longer. But that doesn't mean anything other than you're experiencing a human moment. So we want to invite that shake in. The shake is really wonderful in support of our nervous system. But again, by all means, please listen to your body. Please take your time. It doesn't matter if you're matching my exact flow in the exact time, as long as you are paying attention to your breath, your body, your movement. So we're going to begin in just a comfortable seated posture of your choice. You can begin cross-legged, or you can sit back on your heels with your knees bent. You could also take your legs out long in front, or if you would really prefer, you could just go ahead and lay flat on your back. And we're going to begin with a long spine. So wherever you are, roll your shoulders away from those ears and tuck the chin in gently. Begin to close the eyes, or just soften the gaze down towards the nose, or just something that's not too far off in front of you. And begin by just feeling your body here on this mat. The hardest part is over. Showing up, rolling out the mat, stepping onto it. You have arrived, you are here. Feel all parts of your body that's connected to the mat. Notice the sensations beneath your body. Notice how your clothing feels on your skin. Become aware of any scents, what you can see, even behind closed eyes. And what you can hear, and what you can taste. Really allowing your whole body to come into this present moment. Now you can just begin to keep your awareness on your body sensations, or if it feels okay, you can bring your awareness to the breath. Just following the flow of your breath in and out of your nose. Beginning our practice with a bit of mindfulness. And as a mindfulness teacher, I get asked all the time by clients who want to work with me, please help me to silence my mind. And of course, we desire to step into this very present mind. However, completely silencing your thoughts is pretty much impossible. Yes, when we're practicing mindfulness and sitting in meditation, we can get this moment of just complete inner peace and silence. But expecting that to be your norm it's a pretty impossible feat. And I also believe that before we can really practice mindfulness, that we need to be focusing on self-compassion, learning how to be the watcher of our thoughts is mindfulness. But how do you react and respond to yourself when your thoughts aren't always positive? How do you respond to yourself when you have negative thoughts, experiencing negative self-talk? This is when we often over-identify or look to suppress those emotions, which takes us out of the mindfulness practice. So this is why I deeply believe that we should be starting with self-compassion. And that's what I would love for us to dedicate our practice to today. Learning to be the watcher of your thoughts, and instead of over-identifying with them or trying to suppress them, can you allow them to be there? Can you investigate them? What do these thoughts need from you? What are these emotions trying to tell you? Where is it in the body? And how can you nurture yourself? And then following that, nurturing yourself, giving yourself that love, the encouragement, even the simple words of I love you, I see you, I'm sorry, trust your goodness, can go so far. The moment that we realize that we are suffering, which we make ourselves suffer all the time by the thoughts we think, by over-identifying with them. But the moment we can notice that we are suffering is the moment that self-compassion comes into play. And then we follow that compassion by giving ourselves that love and nourishment. And that, my friends, is what I feel to be the most beautiful practice of mindfulness. So throughout today's practice, as your mind wanders and as your body feels fatigued and you feel like you want to give up and maybe you are experiencing some negative self-talk, how can you just allow it and then investigate it, asking, is this true? How can I change it? How can I nurture it? And then following that. So let's take a moment to place our hands over the heart space and just let yourself know, I got you, I support you, I have you, I am here for you. I no longer desire to abandon you or allow you to continue to sit in suffering. Whatever the words that need to be spoken to yourself, let them be said. And then we will bat the eyelashes open, just returning to this present moment, returning to this room that you are in, and slowly making our way to child's posture. So we want to arrive in an extended child's form. So bring your big toes together and let your knees separate as wide as you desire, just no wider than the edges of your mat. Go ahead and send your hips back to the heels, and then walk your arms out nice and long in front, and then melt the heart down to the mat. Let your head be heavy on the mat. Roll your shoulders away from the ears, and just become aware of the expansion, this beautiful stretch within the armpit chest and into the side body.
And maybe you need to take your hips a little side to side if they feel a little tight today. And maybe even inviting a little rock within the forehead, massaging the space between the eyebrows. Just letting your whole body arrive here on this mat. And again, you can always either bring your awareness to your breath or to the parts of your body that are connected to the mat, or just any space within the body that's calling you. Just checking in, tuning in, dropping in. Next inhale, please look forward at your hands. Take your left hand more to the center of the mat and inhale, lift your right arm up. And then we're gonna exhale and thread that right arm under the left. So coming down to that right shoulder, right ear. Your left arm can stay extended out long, or we can take the left arm behind the low back. My apologies, there's construction outside of my house right now. I don't know what they're doing across the street, but if there's a little extra noise today, my apologies. And just find yourself in this nice stretch in the upper back body. And again, just breathing, noticing, trying your best to be the watcher of the thoughts. So if your arm isn't already on the low back, please go ahead and place your left arm there. And then keeping your left arm just as it is, as you inhale, you're going to begin to sit up, butt to the heels as you take your right hand to that left hip. So we're in this little twist here. Inhale to find a little length. Exhale, twist a bit deeper, belly button, chest, and then head. 2 more. Big breath in. Exhale, twist. Last one. And exhale, twist. Very nice. Release those arms. Inhale, reach them overhead. Exhale, walk them back out long in front. This time, take your right hand into the middle of the mat. Inhale, left arm reaches up. And then we exhale, left arm threads beneath the right, coming down to left shoulder, left temple. Right arm stays out long, or take it to the small of the back. If your right arm isn't already there, please go ahead and place it around the low back, and then inhale. Begin to sit up for that twist. So left hand down to the right hip. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, twist a little deeper, belly button, chest, and then head. 2 more just like that on your own. Great work. Inhale back through to center. Lift those arms up tall. And then exhale, take your hands back out onto the mat and come all the way down to the belly. Keeping the elbows hugged and tight as you lower all the way down. Bring the tops of the feet flat to the mat. Roll your shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lifting up just for a little baby cobra. Maybe even lifting the hands to ensure that this is all within the back body. Shoulders rolled away from the ears, hugging those elbows in tight. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Take your right arm out long into a T. Left hand stays underneath the shoulder. As we roll gently over onto that right shoulder, right temple, left foot places behind you as a little kickstand for broken wing posture. Your left hand can stay on the mat with that left elbow bent. Try to relax any tension within the eyebrows and the jaw. And very slowly rolling back through to center. Left arm goes out long. Right elbow bends, right hand beneath the shoulder, and rolling over onto that left shoulder as we kickstand that right foot behind. Inhale, rolling it forward. And go ahead and push yourself up to tabletop. So we want to keep the hips over the knees as we come into puppy posture. Walk the arms out nice and long in front and begin to melt the chest down towards the mat. Some people like to place their chin on a mat. That feels a little too much for me though. If you're like me, go ahead and just place your forehead down to the mat. Really opening up through the heart space, the front and the back of the heart here. Self-compassion being all about that love. It's located in the heart chakra. Just noticing the expansion within the heart. As you choose to give yourself that love, comfort, and care. And then inhale, look forward at your hands. Keep the forearms on the mat as you roll forward onto the belly, coming into Sphinx posture. Roll your shoulders back, lift the chest, and begin to lift the chin. But do your best to keep the spine nice and long all the way up through the neck. So try not to crank it up, like by looking up high at the ceiling. Try to keep that chin tucked in slightly. And your arms are acting as if you're like pulling your heart forward. Tops of the feet are flat to the mat, our shoulders are rolled back. Take a few breaths here. And beginning to really bring the heat into the body. Let's curl the toes under and begin to lift the pelvis, coming into a forearm plank. Of course, you're always welcome here to drop those knees, not a problem. Just keep your low belly pulled in and up. Keep those floating ribs hugging in and that tailbone down. Make sure you're breathing. Heels spiking to the back of the mat for 3, for 2, and 1. Beautiful. Drop it back down to the mat. Take your hands beneath those shoulders, and we'll inhale, lift up for Cobra. Elbows stay hugged and tight, nice soft bend in the elbows. Roll your shoulders back, tops of the feet pressing into the mat, and exhale, we release it back down. Push up to the knees, and then we find ourselves in our first downward facing dog. Take a moment here just to pedal out the feet, inviting one heel to the mat, followed by the other, as you bend generously into the opposite knee. Really press into the webbing between the thumb and pointer. Feel those shoulders with the outward rotation. Looking towards the knees or the toes. Hips are up nice and high. We'll find a few moments in stillness as we just invite the heels down to the mat. It doesn't matter if they touch or not. We're really focusing on the length within the spine. And then inhale, begin to find a little ocean wave forward into a plank. Shoulders stacked over those wrists. Bend the knees for them to hover just above the mat. And then send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. 2 more like that. Inhale, roll it forward to your plank. Exhale, hover the knees, hips up and back. Final one. Inhale, roll it forward. Exhale, hover the knees, take it up and back. Inhale, look forward at your hands, bend the knees generously. Use your exhale to take you to the top of the mat. We'll find a forward fold. Let the feet be about hip width distance. Your knees can bend as generously as you need. Tailbone up towards the sky. Head, neck, and shoulders relax down. You can bring the palms of your hands to the mat, or you can even grab opposite elbow for a bit of a rag doll. Wherever you are, you can find a little sway back and forth if that feels okay in your body. Maybe even shaking the head out no and yes. Just feeling any tension be released from the upper back body. Just letting everything go. Press evenly into all four corners of your feet. Inhale, begin to straighten your legs. Find yourself a flat back position. Really firm up through your core. Exhale and release yourself down. Inhale, press through those heels, bend the knees generously as you come all the way up to a tall mountain. Lift your arms up overhead. Roll your shoulders back. Feel everything stacked. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. Exhale, pull your hands down through heart center. Inhale to lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at those hips, flat back all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, flat back position. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand. And exhale, pull your hands down to heart center. Inhale to lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant those palms, claw into your fingerprints, step yourself back to your plank. Hold it here. Again, you can always drop those knees. Next, inhale, come forward on your toes. Bring your shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, lower down halfway. Elbows stay hugged and tight to the side body. Inhale, upward facing dog. Shoulders roll back, just hands and feet to the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment to find your breath here. Feel your body connected and anchored to the mat. Noticing your thoughts. Inhale, look forward, bend those knees. Exhale to the top of the mat and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press through those feet, come to stand, lift all the way up. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Final time here. Inhale to lift. Exhale and we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms, step it back to your plank again. Option 2, lower those knees. Round of breath here. Remember, we're in slow flow, so we're holding the posture just a little bit longer. Inhale, come forward on those toes, shoulders over the fingertips. Exhale, lower halfway, elbows stay hugged and tight. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Be the watcher. Begin to anchor down that left foot. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Keep your hips even with one another. So no need to lift your right leg up super high. Just lift from your right inner thigh, all your toes pointing straight down to the mat. And then look in between those hands and begin to pull your right knee up towards the chest and then step your right foot in between the hands. We're going to pivot on that back foot in a 45-degree angle. So you want your left toes pointed up towards that the left corner of your mat. Pull your right hip back, really squeezing through those inner thighs. Firm belly as you inhale, come all the way up to a warrior one.
First, take your hands to your hips just to ensure that your hips are indeed squared off to the front of the mat. You can stay here, or you can begin to lift your arms, or even take your hands to your heart. Feel yourself really pressing firmly in between both feet. Nice generous bend in that front knee, keeping that right knee behind the toes. And then exhale, release your hands down, step it back to a plank. Find a breath here. And then find your vinyasa. You can always skip the vinyasa and just head right to downward facing dog, or even hang out in child's form. And then begin to anchor your right heel down to the mat. Inhale, left leg up. Same thing, lifting from your left inner thigh, all your toes pointing straight down. And then as you exhale, begin to roll forward, bring your left knee into the chest, squeeze it in, and then step your left foot right in between your hands. Pivot on that right foot, right toes towards the top of the mat, hands to the hips. When you feel ready, go ahead and come all the way up. Check your hips, check that knee, and then when you feel ready, find your expression of Warrior One. One more breath here. Exhale, take the hands down, step it back to your plank, find your vinyasa. Option to skip. We'll all meet in downward dog. Inhale, look forward at your hands, bend those knees. Exhale to the top of the mat and fold. Bring the big toes together, slight part in the heels as you fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Drop the hips, weight in the heels. Inhale, chair pose. Breathe here, really hugging the belly and those floating ribs in, shoulders roll away from the ears. If this creates pinching in the shoulders, please just bring your hands to the heart. Weights even in both feet. Sit as low as you can here. Tiny little chair behind you, almost there. And then inhale, come all the way up, hands to the heart. Very nice. Begin to transition the weight to the right foot. And we're going to open up now to Warrior Two. So right leg's going to be in front. Let's go ahead and take that left foot to the back of the mat. So we have the pinky side of that left foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. And we have that right heel to the inner left arch connection. So they're lined up evenly. And just like in that Warrior One, we want to bend deeply into that front leg, but ensure that we can see, look down and see that right big toe. So we're keeping that right knee safe. And then we're opening those arms up for the full expression here. So we're really firm in that low body, but our upper body is more so relaxed. So the shoulders are away from the ears, they're nice and soft, but your arms are strong. Like I could come up to you and press on your arms and they would stay lifted. Our shoulders are stacked over the hips. Breathe here. We're really pressing into those feet as if we were gonna rip our yoga mat in half. Next, inhale, flip your right palm and lift it overhead, left hand to your left thigh. Peaceful warrior. Looking up with that right hand or perhaps down at those left toes. Keep bending through that front leg. Another breath here. Exhale, bring your right forearm to that right thigh. Lift your left arm up for extended side angle. Our core is nice and firm. Really warming up through the side body. Keep bending deep into that front leg. We're almost there. Inhale back up to your peaceful warrior. Straighten your right leg. Now inhale, come back up through to center, Warrior Two arms. Inhale, reach with that upper body. Reach, 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 reach until you can't reach anymore. And then take your right hand down, maybe to your foot, your ankle, your shin, or maybe even the mat. Left arm overhead. Look up with that left hand or down at the right toes for triangle. Breathing here, really keeping that core nice and firm. Opening up the ribs, the heart, up towards the heavens. Now we can place that left hand on the hip. Look down at the right toes if you're not already there. And then I often need to step that left foot up a bit. Our right hand's gonna go towards that right corner of the mat as we open up for half moon. So we're stacking those hips on top of one another, and we can leave that left hand on the hip or lift that left arm up. My head is cut off. And we can look up at that hand or down at the toes. Keep that left foot flexed. Breathe here. This is a challenging posture. No worries. Pay attention to what is going on within your mind right now. Be the watcher. Show up with self-compassion. Good. And now using your firm core, begin to lift yourself all the way back up, meeting back in warrior two. Taking your time to arrive and to adjust your posture. Roll your shoulders back, arms long. Great work. Straighten through that front leg. And then bring both heels in, toes out. Hands to the hips as we drop it down for a wide leg squat. I like to kind of wiggle myself a little side to side to open up through the inner thighs and let the knees drop open a little bit as well. You can keep your hands to the hips. You can bring them to your heart. We're going to find little squat pulses here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep the weight in the heels, squeezing, activating through the glutes. 3, 2, 1. Lift through those legs. Now let's turn to the back of the mat to repeat the same sequence. So warrior two to the back of the mat. Bend into your left knee. The right pinky toe side now is in line with the short edge of your mat, and we have the heel to arch connection. Open up through the arms, finding yourself in your warrior two. Make sure that front knee is safe, and you can look down and see that left big toe. Breathe here. Really ripping the mat in half with your super powerful legs. Inhale, reach that left hand forward, flip the palm. Exhale, find your peaceful warrior. Keep bending deep into that front leg. And then next exhale, coming through to your extended side angle. Almost there. Super strong in the legs. Breathe deep. And then inhale, peaceful warrior, and straighten that left leg. And inhale, warrior two arms as you reach forward with the upper body. Exhale, take that length with you as you find yourself in triangle. Pressing evenly between both feet here. Really hug your muscle to the bone. And then right hand to the right hip, looking down and adjusting yourself to a shorter stance if it makes it a little bit easier. Left hand comes towards the left corner of your mat as you lift your right leg, flex your right foot, stack those hips. You can keep your right hand on that right hip or lift your arm up. Looking up or looking down. Breathe here. Invite in the shake. Enjoy the challenge. Practicing self-compassion through it all. Great work. Let's catch ourselves here in warrior two. Open it up and sink it deep. And then straighten through that left leg as we turn both heels in, toes out, Finding that wide leg squat once more. And again, pressing through those heels, really activating through the glutes and the inner thighs. Let's pulse it here for 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten both your legs. Come back to the top of the mat. Inhale to lift your arms up high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Plant the palms, step it back to your plank. Vinyasa or skip will meet in downward facing dog. We have one more standing sequence here before we take it down to the floor. Take a moment in our down dog, maybe pedal out the feet. Connect with your breath a little bit more. Just notice where your mind is. And then we'll inhale, look forward at the hands, bend those knees. Exhale, take it to the top of the mat and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale, pull your hands down to the heart. We're going to come into our tree posture. So moving the weight to that right foot. And taking your left foot, we can begin by kickstanding. So the left toes are still on the mat as you allow that left foot to rest against the right ankle. If your balance is feeling pretty good today, you can now place your foot either on the shin or the inner thigh. Just do not place it on your sensitive knee joint. To make the balance a little bit easier, you can find something in front of you that does not move that you can set your focus on. And then once you have found the position that you desire your legs to be in, play around with your arms, your hips, your heart, to a T, even overhead. Whatever is best for you. Keep your core engaged. See if you can unclench your right toes and just really feel yourself rooted down through your entire right foot. Pull your hands down to the heart if they're not already there. Very slowly release that left foot and bring your left knee up to the chest and then straighten that left leg as much as you can. And then exhale, pivot, as if you were a pendulum. Kick your left foot behind you, bringing your body into a T shape for warrior 3. And then you can leave your hands at the heart or take them out long beside you or overhead. Try to keep the hips parallel here. Left toes flex down to the mat. Exhale, release your hands down and invite the nose towards that right knee for standing splits. Release your left foot down next to the right, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Taking it to the other side right away. Transitioning to the left foot. Kickstand on the right, or with the right, and then take it to the shin or inner thigh. Once you have found the foundation of your legs, then add in the arms. Bring your awareness to your focal point. Find your breath. Just meet yourself exactly where you are at. And pulling your hands down to the heart, slowly releasing your right knee, hugging it up to the chest, and then kicking it out in front of you any amount. Stand up nice and tall, and then exhale, be that pendulum, find yourself in warrior 3. Drop your right hip to meet the left. And then drop the hands down, inviting the nose towards the knee. Standing splits.
Next exhale, right foot meets the left and we forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms, step it back to the plank. Final vinyasa. Take it or leave it. Downward facing dog. And then very slowly begin to drop the knees. Swing them to one side and bring them long out in front of you. Bringing your heels to the mat, flexing your toes towards the forehead, and removing the fleshy part of the bum out to the side. Just for a deeper sitting bone connection here. Take your hands to either side of the body, roll your shoulders back, sit up nice and tall. If this feels like a bit of a struggle, no worries. The first several times I did this, it felt very uncomfortable as well. Probably the first couple years of practicing yoga, to be very honest. Inhale, lift those arms up nice and tall. Hug everything in, pretend there's that big exercise ball here. So you'll inhale, lift up and over the exercise ball for a forward fold. No strain in the low back. Just let yourself fold any amount. Inhale to find length. Exhale to fold a little bit deeper if you can. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale and fold. Beautiful. Inhale, roll yourself back up. Bring the bottoms of the feet together with the knees wide. The closer you bring your feet into the body, the deeper the stretch within the inner thighs. So take a moment just to find what feels best to you. Wherever you're at, grab those ankles, roll your shoulders back, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, just begin to fold over those legs. I like to take my elbows to my inner thighs to really help to open them up even more. And then you can just let your shoulders round here, let your head be heavy. Breathing into this stretch. Inhale back up through to center. Take your hands to the outer legs, bringing them back together and coming all the way down to the back. Please take your time to arrive here. And once you do, just hug your knees in towards the chest. Place your hands along the shins or the knees, and then begin to remove the knees from the body so the arms will then straighten. Exhale, pull the knees back in. Inhale to lift away. Exhale, hug them in. Last one, lift away, and then hug them in. Awesome work. Take your right leg down to the mat. Flex your right toes, really press into that heel. As you squeeze your left knee into the chest, maybe draw some circles with the ankle going one way and the other. Perhaps pointing and flexing that left foot as well. And then you can begin to straighten that left leg up towards the ceiling. I need to bend my right knee when I do this though, because I have very short hamstrings. But if you're more flexible, you may find that no problem, you can leave your right foot out with that foot flexed as well. Just breathing into the back of your left leg. Awesome. Take your left leg down to the mat now, press into that left heel, flex those toes, pull your right knee in towards the chest. Draw some circles with that ankle and point and flex the foot. And then finding that nice hamstring stretch on this side as well.
release both legs down now to the mat. Take your arms and legs out wide at the sides. Roll your shoulders under the heart and tuck the chin in slightly. Closing the eyes or just softening the gaze as we come into our final resting pose, Shavasana. And this is when we really get to put that practice of mindfulness to good use. As we do our best just to release the thought, release the breath, and just enjoy this moment of complete stillness. Don't abandon the idea of self-compassion. Allow it to be a part of this practice as well. Then begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing some gentle movement into the body. Slowly taking your feet to the mat, bending the knees, rolling up to one side, and very slowly pushing your way up to a seated position. And as we arrive, we'll bring our hands together at heart center. And choose to carry this practice with you off of your mat. When you notice yourself having a negative thought, just become aware of it. Remember to allow it to be there. Investigate, okay, where is this happening within my body? And then nurture it. Some simple phrases of I love you, I see you, trust your goodness can be so impactful. Or perhaps your body is more so needing deep breath, movement, a sound, a bath, a nap, whatever it may be. Just continue to meet yourself exactly where you are at. Moment by moment, day by day. I truly believe that is the practice. Let's bow our forehead to our fingertips in honor of ourselves and each other in this beautiful life. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. We're beginning self-compassion within the Breathe and Receive membership starting tomorrow, March 2nd. However, if you're watching this replay forever down the road, whenever it may be, just know that the replays are always available within the Breathe and Receive library. So this membership is $25 a month, and each week we get a brand new live class. This live class will then be uploaded to the library, and it's all about connecting with body, mind, and spirit. It's an embodied approach to healing. We find yoga, meditation, breath work, all to match these different themes to help us to live this more embodied, authentic, and mindful life. So if you are interested, please be sure to check out the description below so that you can find the link to sign up for that membership. There's never any contract, so you can just sign up for this theme of self-compassion and choose to cancel it. It's no worries, but upon your membership as well, you get access to all the previous themes and all the future themes to come. So thank you so much. Please reach out with any questions you may have. All my information is below. And I look forward to continuing to guide you through different embodiment practices. Thank you so very much. Create a beautiful day.